In this video, we're going to add rich text editor functionalities with the help of CKEditor during post-creation and update process. We're going to also use ChatGPT in certain cases, which will help us to figure out certain things in the CKEditor configuration. Because of the tile on CSS, all CKEditor stylings were lost, so we had to recover this as well. So I think it is going to be a pretty interesting lesson. Now let's commit everything. We have implemented post and delete. Well, now I want to add rich text editor functionality in the post creation process. Okay, I want this to turn into a rich text editor, and whenever I'm editing as well, to have the possibility to make something bold or have some heading or some basic things. Yeah, so let's start with that, and I'm going to use CKEditor for this. We have a lot of tabs actually open, which I can close right now. Let's leave ChatGPT. Okay. CKEditor view 3. Let's click on this one. Okay, so this is the installation instruction. We're gonna, let's collapse this. We're gonna install CKEditor 5 for vue.js in the build classic, and then we are gonna use that, and then we can already start using the component. Okay, so let me copy this part, bring up my artisan. I'm going to stop the void server, and I'm going to paste the command, hit on enter on that. It's going to install. Meanwhile, I will use this inside my main.js. That was already installed, so we can execute npm run dev. And let's open main.js. We should have that main.js. Resources, JS, inside app. Okay, so here we have this create inertia app. We don't have this traditional create app, but this create inertia app has setup right here. Inside which it creates the app, and it is using the plugin, using the Ziggy view as well. What is this plugin? I have no idea, to be honest. But I think I need to use my CKEditor right here. And I'm going to import my CKEditor like this. Okay, this is good, and then I can already use like this. So let me copy that part. I will open this post modal, and here I have this input text area, which I'm going to replace with my CKEditor. But I have 3 variables right here: editor, editor data, and editor config. Editor data is actual content, so that should be form.body. The editor is just the classic editor, so we can define this somewhere here. Actually, it should be const editor equals classic editor, and we just need to import this classic editor from CKEditor build classic. And we have the editor config, which is the configuration object for the editor, which I think we can just make it as an empty object for now. Let's move up. The editor type classic editor is not assignable to type. Okay, I think we can just don't pay attention to this. And let's just comment this input text area and have a look. If we go in the console, then click on edit. Here we go. We see the CKEditor. Okay, this is good. However, we have a bunch of options, and I think not everything is necessary in our specific case. Like, I think we don't need image, and we probably don't need video as well. So we need to customize the toolbar. I'm just trying to find the toolbar customization example. Okay, let's search for toolbar. Okay, here we see what items do we need. Let me get the toolbar, and I think it requires also the following plugins, which are imported from different places like the paragraph and link and essentials. Okay, so let's get everything. And I'm going to paste them here, and let's import all of them, like the essentials. Okay, we don't have these essentials installed, right? Bold, we don't have it installed. Italic, link. This is different link. Paragraph. Okay, so they are imported from different packages. Here's the warning as well. We don't use CKEditor build classic anymore, since we're building CKEditor 5 from source. We use source version for classic editor. Okay, I'm going to ask now ChatGPT. I am using CKEditor 5, and I want to customize in my Vue 3 application, and I want to customize toolbar and only have bold, italic, lists, and headings. How to do that? Okay, this is all clear. But actually, if we want to customize, we have to install the following packages, it seems like. Or maybe they are already installed, just... Okay, I'm going to get this toolbar and put this here. Let's see if that works out of the box. That actually works. So we see bold, italic, list, and headings, which is cool. This is my first content. Okay, here's a small issue. Basically, changing this into H1 or H2 actually makes some changes, but it is not affected because we are using tile on CSS. And all the styles of the native elements are resetted. This is the issue. Before I fix that, maybe I need something else in this toolbar. So let me submit this. The content is there. This is looking good. Let's comment this toolbar, and I want to have a look at all the default options. So we have undo, redo, bold, italic, link. We need the link as well. And we need indent as well. And block quote as well. So let's ask ChatGPT. I want indent buttons, link button, and block quote as well. Okay, let's see now. This has been added, so I'm going to get this and comment my toolbar and paste everything here. And now we see bold, italic, list, paragraph. And we obviously need to sort them in the proper ordering. So first we're going to have heading. Then we're going to have bold, italic, lists, indent, link, and block quote. I think we need the link actually before lists right here. Just like this. Okay, now we're going to fix the thing that when I have heading here, if I choose that heading, what happens? Nothing actually happens. I did the same thing in another project. This is my Laravel e-commerce project. Recently, I made an update on this project, and this update includes integrating CKEditor as well in this vue.js application. So if I go in the backend, in the source, and in the components, maybe in the core, custom input. That custom input, I think, is, yeah, it is a reusable component with different types of inputs. And here's the CKEditor. And what I did was that this is not done here, it is done outside. Where is that? In the index CSS, maybe? Here it is. So this is the CSS which I came across in the internet, which you can get from my repository, from the following repository. So it's my Laravel e-commerce course, the Codeholic Laravel e-commerce course, then go to the backend folder, source and index. And this is what I'm going to get. And I'm going to put this in the app CSS. So I'm going to give these styles, proper styles, to components which is rendered in the CK content. If I save this, now we see this heading here. Now normal, this is normal paragraph. Okay, I save this. The action is unauthorized. Okay, why it is unauthorized? Because probably I had it opened for large time. Okay, now this is actually rendered nicely here. but it is not rendered nicely here, which is something we need to also fix. This is the post item, right? In the post item, let's find where body is outputted. Here we see this vue.html. Okay, so it is outputted here and here. What I will do is just provide class to both of them, and there's going to be CK content output. And I'm going to do the same thing for the CK content output. I'm going to make it easy, just duplicate this, and I'm going to search every CK content match and replace it with the CK content output, but I'm going to do this only inside selection. Let's search for CK content. Okay, let's start from here. Replace. I'm going to follow this just. Okay. Good. Now we see that the content is rendered nicely. Let's click on edit. I'm going to make this bold. I'm going to make this italic. I'm going to introduce also list, bullet, list. Cool. Let's remove this italic from here. We're going to have also normal list. We can do this indent, I think. We can't do. This is decrease actually. We want increase. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working, but let's use this block quote. It is working. Hit and submit. And we see everything rendered here. The block quote does not have that style. Why? It has that style right here, which is CK content block quote. So these are the styles for block quote, which we can grab. And to the CK content output for block quote, actually, we can give these styles. CK. Dot is extra here. Okay, now we see that. Okay, now the thing what I don't like is that if I have such long list, basically, I'm going to do like this and hit and submit. Actually, if I remove this one and everything else, and if I have that list, it is very large in height. But we don't see this read more until here. And that happens because we are actually checking the number of characters, first 200 characters. This is how we are stripping that first 200 characters right here. It is very not realistic, right, to create a list like this. At least you're going to have some words. So, well, in theory, there will be a solution to just have a look at the width. So when the content is loaded and rendered, we can have a look, and if the width of the rendered content is more than 200 pixels, then we can show this read more. But I'm okay how it is right now, so I'm just gonna forget about it. It is not realistic to have that one letter list items, right? So you're gonna have more realistic text, such as my heading, or let's make an actual post like why people love Laravel. Okay, then we're gonna have a couple of like let's put lorem text here, and I'm gonna make this bold. This is gonna be italic, and this is gonna be linked to https laravel.com. Yeah, oops, the link doesn't have colors. Okay, this one doesn't have colors. Does it work for... It does not do anything for the links. The CK content. Let me first submit this and save that. And then in the CK content, for A, I'm going to give it text decoration underline. Now if I edit this, I see this underline, and I can also give this text like blue, or sorry, it should be color blue. And we need the same thing for text content output. But I think this blue is not very nice. This is something we need to adjust. Okay, let's use this color. And where's the heading? Okay, so we have implemented this rich text editor functionality as well, which is looking good. So we now have 2 paragraphs here, as you see. Your support is the most important thing for me. So the single best thing what you can do right now is to pause the video, hit the subscribe and the like button, and continue watching. I would really appreciate. Thank you. Now let's commit the things. Everything basically is a single commit. Add CKEditor in post update. Actually, add CKEditor. In post update modal. Let's commit this, and now I think that we need to change post creation process. Right now, when I click right here, we see just a text area, and I think that probably I need to display the same modal during post creation. Okay, let's modify this. I'm going to close everything because right now I have a lot of tabs opened. And I'm going to search for create post. This is input text area, and whenever we click on this post creating turns into true. Okay, what I want, I'm going to open post list as well. And I'm going to open home as well. Now in home, I have this create post and post list. We have this modal in the post list. Actually, in some of the components, the script is the first, template is the second. In most of the components, this is like this. Okay. Whenever I find that the script is the second and template is the first, I should reverse it because this is how PHP Showroom generates it by default. Okay, I'm going to get this post modal, and in the create post, I'm going to put this here. However, instead of post creating true, let's call the function show create post modal. Show create post modal. Show modal. Let's create this variable show modal. It's going to be, instead of post creating, maybe we can call this show modal. Post creating. Here we have two buttons, to attach file and submit. And I'm going to move these buttons into the modal itself, but right now I can comment this. I'm going to remove this if as well. I'm going to comment this part. And we have this edit post out down here, which we have this new post form as well. On submit is something which we don't need here. Whenever we click, it should show the modal, and we just need a new post variable here, which we are going to pass to the modal. So let's just define const new post equals ref, an empty object. We don't need this new post form, so I can delete this. This new post is given to the modal. Okay, and in this method show create post modal, we're going to set show modal value equals true, and that part needs to be completely removed, or I'm going to comment this part, or I'm going to remove actually, and I'm going to move this into the modal. When we hit this submit button right here, we have this form with ID and body, and here I'm going to check if form ID exists, it is update. Okay, else it is create. This is the create part. Form post, post create. We're gonna give it also preserve scroll, and this reset is not necessary. On success, we can hide the form, the modal. Show value equals false. Let's check this. We have some error. Can't read properties of undefined reading body inside create post. New post form. Okay. In the create posts, we are still using this new post form. We don't actually need this, so I'm going to remove it. Now we have warning, missing required prop model value. By the way, this can be optional as well. Now we see this. I click on that, which brings a lot of errors and warnings in there. Can't read properties of null, reading emit options. Where is that coming from? Okay, in the post user header, there's this problem in the post user header. This post user header accepts post, and this post has a user inside, which is correct. What we need to do when we create new post, we are going to get the user, and the user or auth user will be use page props auth user. I think this is how it should be, but just to make sure I'm doing correctly, I'm going to search for this. It is props without $sign. Now this auth user can be given into the new post. This new post basically has the following structure. We can provide the structure as well: ID, null, body, an empty string, user. We can provide the user ID, but I'm going to just provide the auth user. Okay, let's now check this. Click on this. Okay, it brings that pop-up. John Smith, the avatar is not there because let's print what is auth user. Okay, this is auth user. It has avatar path, cover path. Okay. I think that auth user is given from app HTTP middleware, and we have handle inertia request middleware, and the user is just request user, which I'm gonna pass into new user resource. Okay, this is how it should be. Now I reload the page. I click on this, click here to create new post. It brings up the modal. Here we have this update post, which we can easily adjust. If we just search for update post, we can do if form.id exists, then we have update post. Otherwise, we have create post. In this case, we have create post. If we try to update, we're going to have update post. And now let's create our first post from CKEditor. Lorem. Let's generate some lorem ipsum text. One more. And some list as well. I'm going to hit submit. Create our first post from CKEditor. We have the list. I can edit that and do a few things. Okay, what if I create new post? Then this form is filled. Why is that so? What is this new post? Okay, this new post is created once, but I think we should create this every time when we hit this show create post modal. We took that, gave as a post here, then we got that post, got the ID and body. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. What is this new post? Let me just print this. Okay, this is the new post. It is actually empty post with just user information. Okay, let me create now test post. I'm going to make this h1. I hit on submit. We see test post here. Then I click on edit. That is here. I modify, hit on submit. Then I click on create. Okay, the form needs to be resetted. In the post modal, whenever it is submitted, we need to reset form. Form reset. Let's try this again. And we can remove this new post. Cool. Another post. Hit on submit. We see that. Click on edit. We see that. Click on create new post. It is not there. I think I just need to replace this with a div. Instead of text area and all the classes that is on the text area, I'm just going to get those classes, change this into div. Here we have all the classes, and instead of the placeholder, we're going to have this content. And we obviously don't need, there are some classes for the dark mode as well, which I will remove. I will remove also the focus classes. Okay. But I think we need border and padding. Padding y2, padding x3. And we need border 2 as well. I'm going to remove shadow. Rounded MD is probably necessary. And border gray maybe 200. And also we need text gray 200. Oops, too small. 600. Maybe 500 is enough. I click on this, it brings up the form. What if I hit this submit right here? I get the error. Okay, I think the post was created, but there's an error. Body is null. And because body is null in the post item, there is this issue, post item component. Right here we have this issue, post body. Basically, if it is null, I want to give it an empty string. So I'm going to do this on the backend side. So basically there are two ways, or many ways basically, to do this. First will be in this create post. I actually create this as an empty string. At what point it is sent to null? This is also interesting. Okay, I'm going to delete this post which has body null because it is breaking now my code right here. I'm just going to delete this. Okay, now I hit on submit, and let's have a look. In the payload we see body is an empty string, but on the backend it is saved as null. So let's open store post request, and I want default validation rule as well. Okay, can I specify? Let's find this in the Laravel documentation first. Not routing, but validation rules, and I want to search for default. I don't see that. Here it is, defining, no, default password rules. This is something else. Okay, prepare for validation. Let me actually see what is this all. I should have all. I want to see what is this all, whether the body is null or an empty string. So I can bring this, hit and submit. I see body is null. Even though we are sending an empty string, it is converted into null. So inside this prepare for validation, I will do the following. Body equals if this input body, if that exists, we can take. Otherwise, I'm going to take an empty string. If I open posts, I'm going to delete this, reload the page, open, hit and submit. In the database, now we see an empty string. Okay, and that fixes my problem that the post item was failed because the post body was null. Now it is an empty string. Okay, and we just create an empty post, which should not be possible, of course, but also the body is not required. Okay, in the future we might upload some files, but don't provide any body. Okay, so that's going to be the case. Okay, also one last thing. We have been talking to ChatGPT regarding CKEditor, and I'm going to ask how to enable air mode. I don't want these actions to be always visible, but only when you select something. Is it easily possible? What is this? Build balloon. CKEditor build balloon. What is this? Let's see this balloon build example. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so we need this balloon version. Then what we are doing? we're going to use balloon editor instead of the default one, and we have different toolbars for toolbar and for balloon toolbar. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to install that part, that component, npm install -- save. Then I'm going to import this balloon editor. Let's make sure this is installed, and we start the npm run dev. We are going to open right now post modal, and I'm gonna import now balloon editor instead of classic editor. Module is not installed. Okay, let's see. And then we can have these toolbars for balloon and for traditional. So let me just, where's my config? This is my config. I can replace this, and let's have a look if this works. We have a couple of errors. CKEditor duplicated modules. I want to delete now build classic, so I'm going to uninstall that. npm uninstall CKEditor build classic, and let's provide -- save. That was removed. npm run dev. Okay, we need to remove this import from build classic. And now the error is gone, and let's have a look. Okay, so it seems to be working. Like my heading, as soon as I select this, I don't see actions. I can make this bold, but where are the actions? Okay, this is something which is obviously feasible, but I don't want to spend too much time on that part. So I will just undo the changes what I made. Let me ask one last question to my ChatGPT. I did like you suggested, but I don't see toolbar when I select the text. I am using Tailwind CSS. The issue might be related to some styles. This is interesting. In the Tailwind content purge, do we have this purge in the Tailwind content? I think Okay, let's try this part. It was broken. I think this purge is in the old Tailwind CSS version, so we need this inside the content here. Well, I don't see these actions, and as I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'd rather undo the changes what I made. Okay, let me just undo. I'm going to remove this, uninstall, oops, npm uninstall -- save. I copied that. npm uninstall -- save. This is the package, and I'm going to install classic. In the post modal, I'm going to undo and have that classic, delete this balloon editor, and remove this balloon toolbar, and npm run dev. Okay, let's have a look. Is it broken? Balloon editor is not defined. Where am I using? Yeah, it should be classic editor. Okay, that seems to be working perfectly fine. Now, let's comment the changes, what we made so far. First of all, we changed the post creation process, and now we are using this post modal in the post creation process. So if I come here in this create post section and I double click on this, we're going to see that now we have this modal right here, and we are basically creating this through the modal. Okay, so I think we're going to give it the corresponding commit message. That's going to be implement post creation through post modal. Okay, I'm going to commit everything. Also, we changed this handle inertia requests file, and we are returning user resource instead of directly request user. Okay, and in the store post request, we're also accepting body, and we're setting this into an empty string if it's null. Okay, perfect. Now let's commit this. Cool. Now let's open the browser, and I just logged out, and when we try to open the home page, we are redirected to the login page. And on the login page, we have this following error. And this is coming from the user resource, and this is coming from this handle inertia requests. Basically, we are passing right here request user, but this request user is actually null, and this right here is actually null, and this is the error what we are getting, can't read properties ID of null. So what we are gonna do is that if the request user exists, then we're gonna put this in the user resource inside the constructor. Otherwise, we're gonna pass null right here. So I'm gonna save this, reload the page, we see the form, I can log in, and I'm redirected to the home page. Let's open the developer tools, and let's double check and make sure everything works. Everything works. Click on submit, we see this everything works, and everything does not work. Submit, everything doesn't work. Okay, so far so good. In the next part, we're going to implement uploading attachments on the post.